And this is a small demonstration as to how to apply my wraps to any arrow. It doesn't have to be a wood arrow, it can be carbon, whatever. I have different sized wraps, obviously, for carbon arrows are smaller, 7 inches long. Anyways, the idea is to use a razor blade on these things to separate the wrap itself from the backing. And the easiest way I've found to do that is with this little jig I made up, and it works very well to do this on a regular basis. It's much simpler than fighting with a mouse pad. I built a blade at the end to allow the arrow nock to butt to the blade and gives you the distance between the actual wrap and the nock without you having to worry about over wrapping or under wrapping and fighting with it constantly. I've found that this method works very well, and it's very simple to do. Once you've removed it, just simply set it in place, i.e. leave the blade attached to it in case I need to move it, because this stuff is fiddly, and there's a toothpick in this little gizmo that helps fiddle with the stuff without it sticking to your fingers. So basically you just set the arrow and nock against that blade and drop the shaft onto the sticky part of the wrap. Pull off your razor blade, give it a little push, and as you can see, they're constant. They always end up with that same tiny gap there because of the blade that's being used. Found that rubbing this with your finger, sometimes you get a little bit of oil on it, it can cause you problems down the road with how the wrap overlaps. And so I just use this little piece here just to smooth it out, get it nice and tight. It's just it comes in this little kit thing that I make up anyway. So anyways, after that, same as the old mouse pad thing, you just set it on there and roll it. And that's pretty well it. I usually give this a pressure considerably higher if you use a piece of wood on that seam to make sure that it's absolutely closed up. Anyways, that's as complicated as it gets putting them on. And like I say, it's just a matter of getting used to dealing with this little piece here. It takes a little fiddle sometimes, but it's not a big deal. Anyways, so you butt it back up again, exactly where you want it, tight to both ends. Take your shaft. Now these, normally I go over them with a bit of steel wool just to make sure that there's no little bumps, and then simply because the bumps will show up on the wrap. Butt it in. Drop it, remove the blade, stick it there. Anyways, that's enough, but at least you can see exactly what the plan was, and everything seems to come together just the way you like it. That's it. 5 minutes, and you can do a dozen in 15 minutes if you need to, but that's all there is to it.